Hello everyone, I'm Ruta and I welcome you all to this unique program which has been commenced by Pune ICAI. I first of all गणेशोत्सवाच्या तुम्हाला सगळ्यांनाच हार्दिक शुभेच्छा. हे का करायचं ठरवलं ह्याच्या मागची कल्पना काय आहे हे थोडीसं मी पण सांगणार आहे आणि अभिषेक धामणे आपले चेअरमन आहेत आपल्या बरोबर ते पण सांगणार आहेत. सो गणपती देवता ही सगळ्यांनाच माहिती आहे की 64 कलांची देवता आहे. नुसतंच ज्ञानाची नाही तर ह्या वेगळ्या वेगळ्या कलांची पण आहे. ह्या निमित्ताने आम्ही असा विचार केला की सीए हा नुसताच फक्त टेक्निकल गोष्टी, फक्त अकाउंटिंग स्टँडर्ड्स, फक्त ऑडिटिंग स्टँडर्ड्स यांच्यामध्येच गुंतलेला आहे का त्याच्यापेक्षाही काहीतरी वेगळं करू शकतो. तर ह्या निमित्ताने आम्ही असा विचार केला की खरंच आपण आपल्यामध्ये असलेल्या काही टॅलेंटचा, आपल्या स्किल सेटचा कुठेतरी लोकांसमोर ह्याचा यावा यासाठी हा कार्यक्रम आयोजित केलेला आहे. जर तुम्ही बघाल तर ह्या संपूर्ण कार्यक्रमाचं वैशिष्ट्य म्हणजे सगळे सीएनीच पार्टिसिपेट केलेलं आहे. देयर इज नो पर्सन हु इज नॉट अ सीए अँड हु इज अ पार्ट ऑफ दिस प्रोग्राम. So, with this keeping in this particular thing in mind, Pune ICI has decided to pray to Lord Ganesh by indulging in such creative pursuits, displaying different skill sets by all the CAs. I ask the chairman of our branch, CA Abhishek Kamne, to please say a few words as to what he thought while organizing this kind of program.
Yes, thank you, Ruta madam. Very good evening to all of you. Respected past immediate chairman, CA Ruta Chitay madam, speaker CA Shruti, आणि आता जॉईन झालेले सगळे मेंबर्स तसेच विद्यार्थी मित्रांनो, सगळ्यांना गणेशोत्सवाच्या खूप खूप शुभेच्छा. गणपती बाप्पा आपल्यावर आलेलं कोरोनाचं संकट लवकरच दूर करेन अशी मी इथे अपेक्षा व्यक्त करतो. गणपती म्हणजे काय, आता रुता मॅडम त्यांनी सांगितलं. गणपती उत्सव म्हणजे उत्साहाचं वातावरण. गणपती म्हणजे सामाजिक एकात्मतेचं प्रतीक. गणपती एक कलागुण दर्शनाचं एक व्यासपीठ. आणि तसेच गणपती म्हटलं की आरती, सगळे फॅमिली मेंबर्स एकत्र येणार आणि गोडधोड आणि अशी खाण्याची एकदम मोठी संधी. आणि पुणे म्हणजे गणपतीला एक अनन्यसाधारण महत्व असलेलं ठिकाण. मग त्यात आपली पुणे ब्रांच का मागे राहावी. आता ही जी कोरोनामुळे जी आलेली मरगळ आहे, सगळे थोडेसे काही ज्यांचे प्लॅन होते ते फुलफिल नाही झालेले आहेत. थोडंसं काय एक मरगळीचं वातावरण आहे, हे दूर करण्याचा एक पुणे ब्रांचचा एक छोटासा आमचा प्रयत्न आहे. या अनुषंगाने पुणे ICI आपल्यासाठी CPA प्रोग्राम्स आम्ही आणतच असतो. आपल्या वेगवेगळे जे इम्पॉर्टंट टॉपिक्स असतात त्यावर. पण एक थोडासा सांस्कृतिक आणि सामाजिक बांधिलकी वाढवणारा एक आमचा कार्यक्रम इथे करण्याचा मानस आहे. तर आजपासून पुढचे 5 दिवस आपण जरूर संध्याकाळी 8 ते 9:30 तुम्ही लॉग इन व्हा. त्यामध्ये वेगवेगळे टॉपिक्स जे आहेत त्याने आपल्याला एक सामाजिक संदेश मिळेल आणि निश्चितच आपल्याला प्रोफेशनल डेव्हलपमेंट चे जे त्यामध्ये आपल्याला एक फायदा होईल. इथे खूप सारे मित्र आहेत, मेंबर्स आहेत जे इथे लॉकडाऊनमुळे एकटे इथे अडकलेले आहेत. तर त्यांना घरी त्यांच्या काही स्टुडंट्स आहेत, त्यांच्या यावर्षी हॉस्टेलला गणपती नाही, मेंबर्सला फॅमिली गावाकडे असल्यामुळे गणपती नाही. तर ही एक थोडीशी शक्यता लक्षात घेऊन आम्ही उद्यापासून आपल्याला संध्याकाळी 8 वाजता पुणे ICIच्या गणपतीचं एक दर्शन आणि आरती याचं पण एक अरेंजमेंट केलेली आहे. आणि ती आरती एक 8:05 8:10 झाली की आपण आपल्या पुढच्या सेशनला सुरू करू. पण ते आज नाही, उद्यापासून सुरू होईल. तर आपण सगळे जॉईन इथे झालात आणि आपण जरूर या छोट्याशा आमच्या उपक्रमाचा फायदा घ्या अशी मी इथे इच्छा व्यक्त करतो. आणि आज ज्या स्पीकर आहेत त्या रुता मॅडम तो ओळख करूनच देतील. बट शी इज वन ऑफ द टॅलेंट इन फ्रॉम अवर प्रोफेशन विच वी शुड we thought that it would be an appropriate day also to call her and invite her. All credit to Ruta madam for making it sure that she is available today. So with this opening remarks, I wish you once again a very happy Ganesh festival, and Stay home, stay safe, and over to you, Rita madam. Thank you.
थँक्यू अभिषेक, थँक्यू व्हेरी मच. मी तुम्हाला एक छोटी गंमत सांगते सगळ्यांना की श्रुतीची आणि माझी ओळख कशी झाली. ह्याचं खरं सांगायचं तर खूप एक 2-3 आठवड्यांपूर्वी जी.बी. मोदी सर, जे पुणे धुळे ब्रांचचे पास्ट चेअरमन आहेत, त्यांनी मला एक छोटंसं आर्टिकल पाठवलं होतं. जे की कृष्ण आणि द्रौपदी, बरोबर ना श्रुती? श्रुती लिहिलेलं आहे. तर ते इतकं सुंदर होतं आणि त्याच्यामधले विचार इतके वेगळे आहेत. तर त्यावेळी असं मनात आलं की का नाही हे सगळ्यांपर्यंत पोचायला पाहिजे. आणि तेव्हा मग मी अभिषेक आणि समीर या दोघांशी बोलले आणि त्यांना पण ही कल्पना खूप आवडली. आणि मग आम्ही असा विचार केला की चला सगळ्यांनी मिळून एक वेगळाच गणेशोत्सव करूया. तर श्रुतीची तेव्हा माझी ओळख झाली आणि त्याच्यासाठी जी.बी. मोदी सर तुम्हाला खूप धन्यवाद की तुम्ही आधी ते आर्टिकल मला पाठवलं. आणि सो रिअली थँक्यू. अशा तऱ्हेने संपूर्ण सीए समाज एक वेगळ्याच विचार करतोय, त्यांना पण खूप सगळं आवडतंय हे आम्हाला असं वाटलं. आणि श्रुतीची ओळख सांगायची तर सगळ्यात गोष्ट म्हणजे की शी इज फर्स्ट अटेम्प्ट सीए. शी पास्ड इन नोव्हेंबर 2011. राईट नाव शी इज वर्किंग इन क्रिसिल इन अकाउंट स्पेशलिस्ट ग्रुप. पण ह्या सगळ्यातून ती वेळ काढून तिने एक सुरेख पुस्तक लिहिलंय आणि त्या पुस्तकाचं नाव आहे महाभारती, 5 वुमेन हू हेल्ड कोर्ट बिफोर वॉर. हे खूप वेगळं पुस्तक आहे. मी अगदी म्हणजे आता माझ्याकडे ते नाहीये आणि ते अमेझॉन वरती अवेलेबल आहे. पण ते मी लवकरच घेणार आहे. आणि ऍट द एंड म्हणजे हा कार्यक्रमाच्या शेवटी किंवा ईमेलमध्ये मी सगळ्यांनाच त्यांची लिंक पाठवणार आहे. तर ज्यांना आवडेल त्यांनी जरूर वाचा. मला वाटतं हा खूप वेगळा विषय आहे. आणि म्हणजे हू एल्स दॅन चार्टर्ड अकाउंटंट टू से अबाउट मॅनेजमेंट. आय थिंक चार्टर्ड अकाउंटंट नॉट ओनली फायनान्शियल स्किल्स, ही ऑल्सो हॅज सम मॅनेजमेंट स्किल्स. कारण अल्टिमेटली आपण आपली फर्म सांभाळत असतो. तर याच्यामध्ये काय विचार आहे, तिने काय विचार केलाय. तर आजचा आपला जो विषय आहे तो पण हाच आहे की मॅनेजमेंट लेसन्स फ्रॉम महाभारती. तर श्रुती, खूप वेगळा विषय आहे, खूप छान वाटतंय आम्हाला. आणि मी जितक्या लोकांशी बोलले तेव्हा अच्छा असा पण विषय आहे का. तर मला खूप ऐकायला उत्सुकता वाटते आणि त्याच्यामुळे प्लीज स्टार्ट युअर सेशन. थँक्यू व्हेरी मच.
थँक्यू. खरं तर मी पुणे ब्रांचची स्टुडंट आहे. सो वी सेलिब्रेट फेस्टिवल विथ आवर फ्रेंड्स अँड फॅमिली. इट्स अ होम कमिंग फिलिंग फॉर मी. वक्रतुंड महाकाय सूर्यकोटि समप्रभ निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देवो सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा. Wish you all very happy Ganesh festival. May the God of intellect bless us with a wisdom to lead a meaningful life. Lord Ganesha has served as a scribe to Maharshi Vyas, and because of this duo, the ancient wisdom is articulated in a form of simple stories. Mahabharata, the greatest ever story, has a unique structure of having a story within a story. And these stories have been told and retold again and again in several and 100 times in different language, in different forms. Over the thousands of years, these stories of Mahabharata have been kept alive by dancers, singers, painters, philosophers, and scholars through their artistic expressions. These stories, therefore, dribble down in our blood, flowing to our thoughts and actions, and eventually representing our society. What fascinates me about Mahabharata is that the more I read, the more I explore. Eventually, I realize that these stories are like riddles. They are to be interpreted. And you have to find answers of these riddles on your own. And over the period, I realized that Mahabharata is a pursuit to gain a satiation of human life. Although Mahabharata is written from male perspective, it has references to many women. Today, I would like to talk about 5 female characters of Mahabharata: Draupadi, Kunti, Satyavati, and Gandhari and Rukmini. Those are also protagonists of my mythology fiction, Mahabharati, 5 women who held court before war. What does Mahabharati means? A thought behind that is Sanskrit word Bharti means Indian woman. The term Mahabharati refers to the epitome of Indian women. Women of Mahabharata, the female characters, are empowered women. Their characters are like sacred murals originally painted by Maharshi Vyas. The years are past since they are created, but they are so dynamic that every time someone looks at them, they appear differently as per our perception. And if we look at them with a modern perspective, they stand relevant to modern times. On the basis of careful analysis of women of Mahabharata, it can be contended that they have great management skill that we deliberate on even in the modern times. So, moving on to our first protagonist, and if we say Mahabharata, everyone will know this name. So, my first protagonist is Draupadi, a fireborn girl. She is daughter of Drupad, a king of prominent kingdom of Panchal, and common wife of Pandava, the valiant heroes of Kurukshetra war. However, the identity of Draupadi is not limited to being a daughter of a king or being a wife of heroes. With a remarkable strength of her character, Draupadi is a real female hero of Mahabharata story. She is such a noteworthy character. She is such a noteworthy character that it can be contended that the entire story of Mahabharata revolves around her. In fact, her actions are so forceful that she is seen as the cause of great war of Kurukshetra because she has directed the entire course of Mahabharata. The most prominent and vivid episode of Draupadi's life is the game of dice, followed by her disrobing. This one episode changes the entire life of Draupadi, a marvelous queen of glorious kingdom of Indraprastha, loses everything. She has to spend 12 years in exile and a year of incognito. However, as a true leader, Draupadi takes charge of the situation. She stands out against every odd. Draupadi manages to achieve her goal of taking a revenge of her humiliation. The most destructive war is fought in human history, marking the end of epoch. Victory comes to Pandava side, and Draupadi once again rules not only Indraprastha but also the legendary kingdom of Hastinapur. Through this challenging journey, Draupadi emerges as an excellent people manager. She achieves her goal of taking a righteous revenge of her humiliation by driving her husband, her friend Krishna, her brother, and her entire maiden kingdom towards her goal. In Kurukshetra war, Pandava side is led by brother of Draupadi, Drushtadumna, and the army of Panchal comprises the largest part of Pandava army. It's interesting to see how Draupadi is able to achieve this. isn't it? During the game of dice, when Draupadi is forcefully brought into assembly hall by Dushasan in front of authorities, she questions the validity of putting her life to a stake. She tries to convince that she is not bound by an act of her husband and therefore cannot be enslaved. Even the elderly persons present in the assembly and the authorities cannot find counter argument to her logical argument made on the basis of her knowledge of dharma. This shows that Draupadi is an excellent communicator. She is first woman victim who fought her case on her own. Even in a challenging time where an ordinary person will find himself being short of words, Draupadi is in a position to articulate her thoughts in a proper structure with depth of her knowledge and assertiveness. She persuades others and wins her point. Isn't it something that is expected out of manager as per modern management theories? This is unique about female hero of story of Mahabharata. Draupadi is eloquent. She is eloquent to set the things around her into the motion. She is the one who motivates people with power of the words. Even during exile, when Krishna comes to meet Pandava, Draupadi expresses her grief very strongly. Husband or sons, or friends or brothers, or father, I have none, nor do I have you, Krishna. With the force of her expression, she motivates even Krishna to give the promise of actions. And this one promise dictates the rest of the course of Mahabharata story. The words of Draupadi are like exciting drum beats for apathetic heart that gives the force of actions and like a composing music that gives a hope for action. With her powerful words, Draupadi is in a position to motivate people, lead them into an action, and get the desired results out of every situation. May it be a very challenging situation. Isn't it something that is expected out of a manager? Towards the end of the incidents of disrobing, scared of Draupadi's rages, Dhritarashtra grants her 3 boons. But with only 2 boons, Draupadi sets free all Pandavas with their weapons. Here, Draupadi shows people-oriented approach while choosing her boons. This act of Draupadi not only gives a sense of realization to her 5 husbands of their duties, but also places a responsibility to take revenge on her. This shows that Draupadi shows great amount of patience while dealing with people. Imagine her husband have kept mum when she has been disrobed and only Krishna comes to help her. But when it comes to choose for something, she chooses first for her husband and not for herself. Even during long period of exile, Draupadi acts as a burning spirit for Pandava, whose valor would have otherwise been exhausted on the cold surface of circumstances. Imagine spending 12 years in exile. But Draupadi always reminds them that you have to fight a war and get your rightful inheritance. This shows that Draupadi drives people with a passion, A highly motivated character of her own, Draupadi motivates the people, leads them to desire action, and gets the best out of them. In the story of Mahabharata, Pandava wins the great war of Kurukshetra, and their victory shows that the good prevails over evil. This shows that Draupadi is able to engage and energize people around her and turn their potential into a magnificent performance. Imagine seven, seven Aukshini Sena winning against 11 Aukshini Sena, that also having legends like Bhishma, Dronacharya, and all. And this queen, queen of Hastinapur, after victory of Kurukshetra war, stands out as a compassionate queen. A war has taken lives of many people in Draupadi's empire. After the end of war, Draupadi, who is also a childless mother, a sister lamenting for her beloved siblings, and a daughter mourning over a death of her father, is in a position to better connect with her people and share their pains and sufferings. Here, Draupadi portrays a character of a dutiful queen who understands the emotions of people of her kingdom, respects them, and works for them. This shows that as a queen, Draupadi is people-oriented person. So, to conclude, I would say Draupadi is an exemplary character that drives people to the path of growth and development, makes her own life meaningful by adding values to the lives of others. Outstanding people management skills make Draupadi a true female hero of Mahabharata epic. Now, moving on to our next protagonist, Kunti. Kunti, a warrior mother whose valiant sons win the great war of Kurukshetra. This single mother stands out against every odd of her life and successfully brings up five sons, including twins of Madri. After death of her husband Pandu, she does not go back to her maiden state, but comes back to Hastinapur with a hope that someday her sons will inherit this dynasty. The most peculiar aspect of Kunti's character is that she is a great strategist, and as a strategist, she knows the importance of soft skills, and therefore she works very hard during early days of Pandava to imbibe good soft skills into them, and these soft skills set the tone of Pandava's victory. Kunti is the one who anticipates the moves of her enemies, and she takes her moves without giving her enemy to have any chance to make their own moves. Kunti, with her great foresight, recognizes that the only key to open the door of rightful inheritance for Pandava is their unity. And therefore, since the death of Pandu and Madri, she has brought up all five Pandavas together as her own sons. She does not call them Kaunteyas or Madreyas to give them a sense of differentiation. She calls all of them as Pandava, since because she knows the power of unity among virtuous five. She knows that Duryodhana will take advantage of any split between Pandava and will push them off the way of acquiring rightful inheritance. And therefore, when Arjun wins Draupadi, and brings her for the first time. Kunti deliberately orders that whatever is being brought be shared among five as usual. And eventually, in order to obey her order, five brothers get married to Draupadi. Through this marriage, Kunti ensures that five brothers are welded in a single whole. Following the events of Mahabharata story, whenever Duryodhan thinks about playing a trick to create a split between Pandava, Karna always warns him that all his efforts will be in vain because they are all wedded to Draupadi. This shows the effectiveness of Kunti's strategy. And we have discussed about Draupadi and have seen how Draupadi have led Pandava to the path of success. Krishna has applied various strategies in the battlefield of Kurukshetra to bring victory to Pandava side. But this one strategy of Kunti wins half of the battle of Pandava's life, isn't it? Not just this, throughout her life, Kunti has carefully created right alliances in Pandava's life. After an escape from Varnavat, Kunti, with her foresightedness, takes an initiative to turn a love of Hidimba in a formal relationship with Bhim, and a son born out of this alliance saves Arjun from Karna's Vaijayanti Astra during Kurukshetra war. Also, Kunti's efforts to build an alliance between Krishna and Pandava shows how precisely she is able to judge a character and also to make the best out of it. This alliance reaps wonderful results in the course of Mahabharata. Kunti is considered as an epitome of sattva, a symbol of patience, sacrifice, and forbearance. However, she acts strongly whenever it is required. In her life, through her actions, she shows that patience does not mean tolerance of injustice. Sacrifice does not mean allowing someone to violate our rights, and forbearance does not mean non resistance against devil's act. She is true warrior mother, and therefore, when Krishna comes to Hastinapur on peace assembly, whenever when Krishna asks Kunti for her message to her sons, she sends message that they should fight for their rights. She motivates her son to recover their rightful inheritance. In her message, Kunti reminds her sons about a legend of Vidula, narrating a tale how she berates her son Sanjaya, who is reluctant to face battle after defeat. This story greatly correlates to the life of Pandava. This shows that Kunti is not only a resourceful person, but also she knows how to use her resources and to bring out desired results. This story plays an important role to motivate especially the eldest Pandava who is reluctant to fight a war for his own rights. In her message sent with Krishna, Kunti indicates five strategies: gentleness, dissension, gifts, force, or negotiation for restoring rightful inheritance of her sons. These are important strategies used even in the modern politics. Here, Kunti, who has never been to any school in the world, astonishes us with her pertinent knowledge of politics. Kunti also berates her son with climatic motivation, the reference to the insult of her daughter in law in the court. Kunti just seeks requital so that her sons follow their dharma of punishing wrongdoers of her daughter in law. Here, Kunti takes charge of situation and motivates her son for war, which depicts that good prevails over evil. Through all the cycles of trough and peak of her life, Kunti emerges as an excellent problem manager. She knows how to handle situation. Even in the phases of trough and peak, she is able to retain her poise and balance. This poise and balance of her mind enables her to reflect on a situation and resolves a problem steadily. Kunti is the one who can focus on present and concentrate on a particular situation. She is able to find a solution. Her problem solving ability enables her to handle all the situation. Her extraordinary ability of analyzing a situation and synthesizing a solution enables her in efficient problem management. This is something we should all learn from. The most appreciable part of Kunti's character is that she not only manages each problem effectively but also makes the most out of it. Kunti has positive approach towards each problem of her life. She does not look at them as problems but consider them as challenges. And therefore, even at the end of war, Kunti requests Krishna that she should face more and more challenges in her life so that she could make more progress in her life by turning challenges into opportunities. That's Kunti, a warrior mother. Now, moving on to our next protagonist, Satyavati. I know she is comparatively lesser known protagonist of Mahabharata, but trust me, this fisher girl is one of the amazing character of Mahabharata. This fisher girl becomes a wife of Shantanu and queen of Hastinapur. She is mother of two short-lived children of Shantanu, Chitrangat and Vichitravirya. She is also famous for being mother of Krishna Dvaipayan, Maharshi Vyas. Yes, Maharshi Vyas is son of Satyavati, born out of wedlock. A fisher girl raised as a commoner enters into prestigious Kuru dynasty as a queen and becomes a matriarch of the dynasty. As contrary to general belief that Mahabharata, a narrative of Kurukshetra war, because 5 chapters are dedicated to the description of war, a story of Kuru dynasty, in reality, it is a story of Satyavati's dynasty. Because Kuru dynasty ends with Bhishma, and Dhritarashtra, Pandu and Vidur are son of Maharshi Vyas, a son of Satyavati. It's really admiring that a fisher girl becomes a majestic queen of Kuru kingdom. She makes her strong impact in the royal court of Kuru. She takes some decisions which leave the long lasting impact over the generations of Kuru. Her queenship is not just nominal, it's real, with outstanding leadership's quality of Satyavati. It is said that success first takes its form in a dream of a person and then it becomes a reality. The one who can dream of something can only achieve it in reality. Even Roosevelt has said the future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams. Satyavati becomes a matriarch of Kuru kingdom because of beauty of her dream. Satyavati knows the reality of her noble birth. Here, let me share with you the birth story of Satyavati. It's really interesting. A king of Chedi, on his way to return from expedition, get arose at a sight of making love by deers, and he sends his seamen to his wife through a pigeon. This pigeon gets attacked by a vulture, and in their fight, this seaman falls into the river of Yamuna and is swallowed by a fish. This fish is in fact a cursed nymph called Andrika, and this fish, the same fish, is caught by a fisherman named Drusharaj. When he cuts it open, he is astonished to find human babies in the womb of a fish, and therefore, what he does, he takes those human babies to the king. But king chooses to accept only baby boy and leaves the baby girl to be raised as commoner, a fisher girl. She is Satyavati. And therefore, Satyavati, knowing the reality of her noble birth, dares to dream that someday she will become a queen of a kingdom, and therefore, even while living as a commoner with fisher folks, she manages to integrate qualities of queen, which qualities that will help her to become a queen of a kingdom in the future. She is the one who has extreme quality about what she wants. She has a strong belief that she can get what she wants and takes firm steps to achieve that in reality. A life story of Satyavati exhibits that our dreams can come true if we have courage to pursue them. I told you, Maharshi Vyas is son of Satyavati. He is son of Satyavati and Parashar. Satyavati's meeting with Parashar is just a coincidence, but the course of events that follow in the meeting of Satyavati and Parashar result in the birth of Maharshi Vyas, the compiler of Vedas. Imagine a fisher girl giving a birth to the compiler of Vedas. The remarkable character of Satyavati emerges from this interaction, where she does not outrightly says no to an urge of great sage like Parashar, but says yes with multiple conditions. And these multiple conditions of Satyavati exhibit Satyavati's ambition, determination, and farsightedness. When Satyavati enters in Kuru dynasty as queen, after getting married to Shantanu, she receives an unwelcome approach from the people. She notices that people look at her as the one who has deprived Bhishma of what he deserves. The people in the Kuru kingdom love and respect Bhishma a lot and want to be ruled by him. For the people of Kuru kingdom, Satyavati is just a lower born fisher girl, and therefore they question on merits of Satyavati. They are not ready to accept her as queen. However, in a due course of time, Satyavati proves her merits as queen. She commands respect and support from people of her kingdom. Soon, people of Kuru kingdom realize that Satyavati, despite being a fisher girl, has so much inside her which makes her a true queen. They not only accept her as queen but start respecting her for her character. A journey of Satyavati from being a fisher girl who is looked upon with disdain approach by people to being a majestic queen of dynasty is not easy. She proves herself with her strong decision making and a force of her action. She is good judge of character and therefore she identifies the abilities and strength of Bhishma. She knows that he has ability to be a pillar person of her dynasty and kingdom, and therefore Satyavati entrusts him with lot of power so that Bhishma becomes a true power behind Kuru kingdom. This act of Satyavati increases faith in the people of Kuru kingdom that they are still under patronage of their beloved person like Bhishma. With the strength of her character and considerate behavior, Satyavati also earns respect from Bhishma, and knowing that someone like Bhishma respects Satyavati, common people of kingdoms start respecting her. In this way, Satyavati not only makes her kingdom strong and secure under Bhishma's generalship, but she also becomes a majestic queen that wins a respectful place in the heart of her subject. Another important characteristic of Satyavati is her diplomatic behavior, which helps her to achieve success in the journey of queenship. Her diplomatic behavior enables her to get what she deserves. A fisher girl who does not get any kind of formal education learns the practical lessons of politics in a school of life. In pursuit of power, Satyavati applies a politics based on practicality and becomes an advocate of realpolitik. This realpolitik approach enables Satyavati to take decisions which are based primarily on consideration of given circumstances and facts, rather than explicit ideological, moral, and ethical premises. With a diplomatic and realpolitik approach, Satyavati becomes not only a majestic queen of her time, but also an intellectual forebearer of modern politics. Isn't it something very interesting? Another important characteristic of Satyavati that makes her a successful queen is her ability to set aside her personal sentiment and look after greater good of people of her kingdom. In her life, she has to face ordeal of death of her husband and two sons. However, each time she recovers from her personal sorrow and looks after well-being of her kingdom. She has sterner stuff inside which helps her to take decisions for well-being of her kingdom, even at the cost of personal reputation. After death of her eldest son, the Kuru dynasty is on the verge of extinguishment. That time, Satyavati summons her illegitimate son Maharshi Vyas to produce a legal heir for Kuru kingdom. To publicly recognize an illegitimate son is not easy for a queen because she has public facet to her personal life. But Satyavati goes ahead and does that for well-being of her kingdom. She also takes the step of appointing King Pandu as a king due to physical disability of Dhritarashtra, and we all know how correct that decision was. She proves herself capable of taking decision by head and not just by heart. As a majestic queen, Satyavati acts as an allegory of an accomplishment. Her journey from being a fisher girl to a majestic queen of Kuru dynasty is a journey of empowerment. She depicts a true power that can make certain impact on things around her in a way she desires. And therefore, Satyavati embodies a power to turn a dream into reality. Isn't it interesting? Now, moving on to our next protagonist, Gandhari. Gandhari is tragic character. She is mother of 100 sons, Kaurava, and wife of Dhritarashtra. For years together, she is seen as mother of villains and has been accused by society for this role. However, though being on the side of villains of the epic, she differentiates herself with her character. Gandhari strongly portrays a character of dutiful wife and a conscious mother. She stands out for her righteousness and purity of character. She resembles to a statue of justice with blindfolded eyes that possess an acumen to differentiate between right and wrong and weighs the justice without a conflict of interest. As a professional, it's important for all of us to learn how to manage the conflicts because the conflicts are part and parcel of human life. These conflicts leads to an entanglement of life. Gandhari is the one who has been forced to face a lot of conflicts in her life. Her motherly affections, her wifely duties, her conscience for good, and her sense of justice. With a consort of evil, her life gets trapped in entanglement. But Gandhari personifies a self conflict of human life. She is a person with highly empowered thoughts. Her thoughts have potential to bring positive effects, but constraint of situation do not allow her to drive those empowered thoughts into equally powerful actions. However, her conscious mind allows her to manage those conflicts of human life and manifest her character as the one who is obviated from a consort of evil. Throughout her life, Gandhari strives hard to resolve conflict of illusion and reality. because her husband Dhritarashtra, although being blind, has colorful dreams of seeing his son being coronated on the throne of Kuru, and her sons follow those elusive dreams. But although husband and sons of Gandhari bear these elusive thoughts which drive them away from righteous path, although being blindfolded, Gandhari is able to clearly see reality with eyes of wisdom. She bears no veils of illusions that will drive her away from the righteous path, and therefore she manages a conflict of illusion and reality and can clearly predict a drift of her husband and sons on the path of self destruction. It's very important to judge a situation and act accordingly. Sometimes this illusion leads us to failure in our life. I would say that the entire life of Gandhari is tug of war. At the time of her marriage, which is real deceit, she is caught in a tug of war between personal interest and general interest of subject of her maiden kingdom, because Bhishma uses force to get beautiful and intellectual bride princess of small kingdom like Gandhar to get wedded to blind prince of Kuru kingdom who can never be a queen. However, Gandhari sacrifices her personal interest and acts in a general interest of subject of her maiden kingdom, and she accepts that proposal of Hastinapur. It's just destiny that after death of Pandu, she gets chance to be queen. But for the rest of her life, Gandhari is caught in a tug of war of rivalry between Kaurava and Pandava. However, Gandhari manages to remain neutral, although favorism could have been obvious on her part. Even during Kurukshetra war, Gandhari manages conflict of interest and shows her adherence to Dharma. Her words, "There is a victory, where is righteousness?" shows her adherence to Dharma, even being on party of Adharma. At the end of Kurukshetra war, Gandhari could have cursed Pandava because she has great ascetic power and could have taken revenge and make taste of success bitter for Pandava. But Gandhari is able to manage her conflicts and continues to maintain a cordial relationship with Pandava because she knows that they are right. This conflict management ability of Gandhari shows magnanimity of her character. Conflict management skills of Gandhari attributes great value to her character, especially in the empire of enmity, envy, or evil. Now, moving to our next character, Rukmini. Rukmini is a principal wife of Krishna. Although being described as wife of Krishna everywhere in the Indian literature, characteristics of Rukmini makes us take note of her significant character. Rukmini has shown her remarkable independence and decision-making power throughout her life. The crux of her personality that even Even being a wife of great character like Krishna, she is able to showcase her persona efficiently through her actions. Generally, in Indian society, we can see very few examples like Ramabai Ranade, Savitribai Phule, and Sudhamurti, where a wife of great personality achieves an independent social status without being a shadow of strong personality of her husband. Rukmini represents that kind of character in her epoch, an epoch of Mahabharata. She is a kind of character who makes impressive impact on others. She is famous for her virtues in the kingdom of Hastinapur as much as she is in the kingdom of Dwarka. She epitomizes independence and individualism. The most prominent incidents of her life is her Swayamvar. It's not Swayamvar actually. Swayamvar means self choice. But her brother wants her to get married to Shishupal, with, because of whom he could derive political benefits, and therefore violates Rukmini's right of choosing her right companion. But Rukmini him does not allow that to happen. She takes an initiative to approach Krishna and let him know that she is in love with him. She sends a messenger to Krishna with a letter wherein she elucidates her plan of elopement by Krishna. This shows proactiveness of Rukmini's character, who does not hesitate to listen to her inner voice. The most beautifully expressed love letter is written by Rukmini to Krishna that depicts Rukmini's intelligence and her power of expressions. She provokes Krishna for her elopement through that one single letter. And imagine Krishna does that. Krishna, the greatest strategist in the world, just executes the plan of elopement designed by Rukmini. All other plans in the rest of the story of Mahabharata are designed by Krishna, but this one plan is designed by Rukmini. With this, Rukmini becomes the principal wife of Krishna, a social leader of his time. The success of Rukmini's character is in her skill of relationship management. She is an excellent communicator, and that helps her to build a meaningful relationship in her life. Being wife of social leader, Rukmini has to deal with many people, and she does that. She builds meaningful relationship out of that. Krishna is married to 8 women. He also has very special relationship with other women like Draupadi and Radha. Also, he takes an initiative and does rehabilitation of 16,000 prostitutes after killing Narkasur. And Rukmini supports him in all of that. She accepts people for the person they are and does not judge them with the subjective measuring scales. That's helped Rukmini to build a meaningful relationship with all people around her because she does not have any kind of rivalry. Rukmini successfully utilizes each thread and weaves a web of relationship around her. She also makes sure that a web of relationship does not turn out to be a trap for her. Instead, she uses that web to climb up on the wall of life. Her skills of relationship management help her to retain individualism among all the relationship. All the persons coming in our life are like pieces of puzzle, and Rukmini is a master of puzzle solving who knows where to fix which piece of puzzle. Her relationship management skills enable her to create a meaningful picture of her life out of pieces of puzzle. So, we have seen the different incidences from the life of women of Mahabharata and how progressive they were in their thoughts and actions. These women of Mahabharata have dared to act differently and to lead by their actions. They have dared to fight against their challenges in their own way to find out the best possible solution, and therefore the thoughts and actions of these five women of Mahabharata turn out to be like lighthouse erected in the great sea of time. So we all can get a direction from them in the expedition of our success. Because, as I said in the beginning, ultimately, Mahabharata is a pursuit to gain a satiation of human life. The progressive thought, the audacity of actions shown in his stories, shown by the women characters of Mahabharata, will keep inspiring us, even though these stories are created thousand, hundred years ago, but they still stand relevant to our times, keep inspiring us, and therefore we talk about them even today. With this, I would like to conclude. Thank you so much for giving me opportunity to connect with you all. As I said, it's a homecoming feeling for me. Thank you. Thanks a lot. May God of intelligence bless us with prosperity of our life. Thank you.
Abhishek?
Yeah, that was really wonderful. And I could correlate all the things because I had seen this Mahabharata right now, which was telecasted on one of the national channel. So I could correlate all the things.
Thank great Abhishek. Thank you, Shruti, so much. It was really wonderful. What I really liked ultimate in all this protagonist was of Satyavati, the story of Satyavati. She was also known as Yojana Gandha. As am I right? So
Yes.
yeah, and what I really liked it was and did really touched me was that she started her life with so much adversities, yet she dreamed. You said it very rightly that, and it really touched my heart that she could dream what she may not even have thought of. All other people living besides her may not even have thought of in their wildest dreams, but yet she could dream, and that is very important. I think it's a good takeaway for all of us from your session today, that we can dream of literally anything, and let us strive hard by using the qualities of the other women which you have elaborated to make this dream a reality. So thank you so much, Shruti, for giving us an insight into the Mahabharata. I am sure that I personally am looking forward to read the entire book. So thank you very
Madam,
much.
link of the book.
Yes, Amazon.com वरती आहे available. Shruti, you need to send us the link to Pune ICAI.
Yes,
Abhishek,
sure.
Can you send it on chat box right now so that
yeah.
it will be there permanently with all the members?
Okay.
And to all other members, we are really looking forward to all of you also participating tomorrow. Tomorrow we have a session by CA Abhay Mate on Vivekananda Vichardhara. जीवन कार्य आणि विचार. So see you tomorrow, same day, same time.
Yeah. Madam, just a moment. Wait, she'll just put the link. Yeah, otherwise it will not be there in the comment.
Right. Yeah, it is here now. Amazon.in Mahabharatee 5 women code before war. It is there. Thank you so much, Shruti, once again for
Thank you.
sparing time.
It's wonderful to connect back. It's, as I said, it's a homecoming feeling for me.
Yes. Thanks.
Yeah.
Okay. Shall we close?
Yeah. Thank
Anything
you.
you want to add for tomorrow, or what?
No, tomorrow 8 o'clock would be Aarti. Then we would be starting with the session of Abhay Mate sir.
Okay.
Yeah.
See you tomorrow.
Thank you, Shruti.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Bye.
Thank you.